What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Gentleman Pursuits podcast. My name is Ryan. First of all, Merry Christmas. Because by the time this episode comes out, it should be 25th of December. So Merry Christmas, and I hope the lockdown, isn't ruining the Christmas mood. Actually, that's such bullshit. Of course, COVID ruined it. But the main point is, your mindset gotta be stronger than the goddamn COVID, right? Don't let it ruin your mood for a once a year holiday. And I also hope that you're stopping all kinds of Christmas music. Stop them Mariah Carey, stop them Michael Bublé, and blast this episode on a speaker, because today is quite a special one here with me on the podcast, or some old time guests, some of my closest friends that I've made through the common, hobby of watches and whiskeys. And I think they're just, really awesome people to talk with. So without further ado, let's introduce them. First of all, we have Gareth. I believe you would, remember him. We've done quite a few episodes together. And then we have Andrew from Bit by the Watch Book. And we have the Star Wars fanatic / whiskey expert, Mike, with us here. How are you guys doing?
Amazing.
Doing good.
Doing great.
First of all, I just gotta say, I'm really happy my watch came in time for Christmas.
Hold it closer.
Can't really see it, but I posted it on my Instagram right yesterday. It's really, really lovely. Straight from Japan. Love it.
Nice. Yeah, the dial on that was beautiful.
Yeah, and it's quite surprising because it's an enamel dial, and I didn't expect it to go for such a low price. It's crazy. And I was like high-key scared, because it's the first time I'm buying a watch online, and I'm scared that the dealer is like kind of sketchy. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care. I'll just take a leap of faith, and it's awesome. Have you guys went over the questions I've sent you?
Yes.
Briefly.
Oh yeah.
None of my answers are going to be serious, but maybe one serious. The rest
No, it's cool. It's cool. We're just having fun.
Two.
Okay. Actually, I want to start with this. Since it's a Christmas special episode. It's like a end of year wrap, like a Spotify wrap, like just everyone talking about watches from 2020 overall. I think Gareth and I did an episode about 2020 best watches and worst watches. But now this is more of a opinion based wrap of 2020. So I want to start with this. What is your current favorite from your collection?
It's like
Anyone?
first. I'll go first.
Sure.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go cliche. I think with my Black Bay 58. I know it's like everyone has. Well, not everyone has one. Everyone loves them.
Right.
But it's just something. Yeah, I really love it. I love wearing it. I don't wear it every day because I feel sorry for my other watches.
Oh yeah, I remember the first time Gareth told me that he is interested in the Black Bay 58, and I was like, you gotta have it, man. And it's really nice to witness the whole process of someone struggling. I mean, not like fighting the desire to buy a watch, to actually giving in to the desire and bought the watch. And it's like, this is really funny.
on a whim, almost, in the store. Try it on. Oh yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. What about Mike?
The Rolex Explorer that I picked up
Yes.
with the luminous and stuff. Like, favorite in the collection, where I'm like, if I had to get rid of everything else, that's the one I keep.
Good choice.
Yeah. Okay. What about Andrew?
I think my favorite watch in 2020 that I've acquired is the Birchall & Taylor Reference 1.
Right. The watch that you won.
This guy.
Oh, that's nice.
I think Birchall & Taylor, they're from Toronto, yeah?
They were, the two guys ended up splitting paths, and they folded into just one guy. So it's under Brad Taylor's name now. So yeah, that watch that's something real special. It always was, but now it's super rare.
They're an independent watchmaker, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The two guys they met. Yeah. They met in Switzerland, but they're both from Toronto, and they came back here and started started a brand.
Okay. Yeah, I checked the brand out. I was like, because that watch looks really cool, and the price tag is just not anywhere near my budget. So I was like, damn, that's really really nice. For what's the name again? Brad Taylor now it's under.
Yeah, it's Brad Taylor. They're using the same Instagram profile, but I think they're just switching the name around.
Okay.
So if you look them up, I'm sure you could still find them.
I'm gonna look up now because I've never heard of them. To my
there are too many watch brands to actually keep up to know everything. Funny story yesterday, because one thing about Vancouver's watch community, it's not really vibrant. So is the whiskey community. Like Vancouver just doesn't have anything. They have I don't know, puffer jackets and Blundstones. No, it's not there at all. It's not there.
There's nothing anywhere.
It's not there at all. Like the only thing is maybe Red Bar YVR. That's kind of bring everyone together, but that's it. So I went to this local dealer. The name is Roldorf or something like that. And I pop in. I was like, fuck, there's because I've never actually, not never, but it's really rare that I would get into a dealer and talk to people. I'm just like, it's quite scary. It's quite intimidating. I don't know. They give me a weird eye. And I popped in. I was like, hey, started talking. And I was like, hey, do you want to come onto my podcast? Out of nowhere. I didn't even expect myself to ask that. And that popped. And then I just tell them, it's like, hey, do you want to come onto my podcast? They're really nice people. So that was a quite comfortable interaction. But that was just weird. Just a side story that happened to me yesterday.
What was the answer?
He said, send over your link, the podcast link, and we'll give it a listen. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I left immediately because it's kind of awkward for me, but it was not that awkward.
Okay, that's when you start dropping knowledge.
I am in no place to drop knowledge on them, man. They look too professional. They're both working on watches because they service watches. Actually, I started with a question because I need my Graham service. So I was asking, do you service any kind of watches? They're like, yeah, just bring your watch in and this and that. They look too professional for me to even claim that I know watches.
Don't be intimidated.
Still a little bit intimidated. Okay, 2020 is quite, it's a really crazy year, for everyone. Of course, the virus, but it's also quite a crazy year for watches. I don't think 2019 was as crazy, but 2020 was quite chaotic, I would say, in the watch release, new watches, whatever, the community. So what do you think is the most underrated watch of 2020? Let's start with Andrew.
All right. So I was giving this a look, and I was thinking about the Bulgari Octo, the rake version. I'm not sure if that came out in 2020 or not, but it got some fame for a couple days, and then it just disappeared off of Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that the Octo Finissimo, but with the rake?
Yeah. I think it was white dial. It had the steel tachymeter bezel around it.
Oh, that's with the rake. Oh, I didn't know that's with the rake.
I think it was with the rake. I could be wrong.
Because the rake watch that I know was the one with Polo, and I absolutely hated that watch. The one with the bear, with teddy bear in the middle, white dial. I don't know what's the hype behind it. Maybe it's because the rake, the magazine. So they were like, oh, it's really classy, really gentleman, sophisticated. I don't see it. I just don't.
Didn't you pick one Ralph Lauren watch as one of your worst from 2020?
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Which I agree 100% with as a big sort of Ralph Lauren fan. It's
I don't understand that. I don't understand why they put a horse. I mean, the Polo player, the logo in the middle, and it's like a giant logo in the middle, and they have a two-tone strap, which is green on one side and brown on the other side. That's just weird. What about Mike? What's your most underrated watch of 2020?
I think underrated, the JLC Polaris line, just any of them.
Yeah,
just
okay.
High-end steel sports watches, everyone's going crazy for. but this gets no play on Instagram. You can't even find news because no one's buying them. And it's like great specs, great company, great history with them, date and non-date version, good size, but just dead in the water.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of people talking about the Polaris series. I don't know why, actually. That's quite weird. I don't know why not a lot of people talk about the Reverso, of course.
Yeah.
But, I think, in my opinion, it gets kind of boring. They have a lot of different colors, not a lot, quite a few interesting colors, but, it gets boring. Yeah, I don't know why the Polaris, no one talks about it. We should start talking about, like, 4 of us collectively, just start talking about these watches.
They should be great. The vintage ones are fantastic as well. Vintage Polaris.
Oh, yeah.
Like, stunning.
Yeah. What about Gareth?
I'm going to go with, it's a tricky one. There's so many, but I think I might go with Longines for the tuxedo range because it got a lot of press, and it's like, I just think it's for the money. There's very little out there that's as nice. I got a chance to see them just before we're in a third lockdown here. Our own lockdown. You probably read in the news. We've got our own special Corona.
Yeah.
So I just think Longines have just done lots of specials. It's not just the tuxedo range. They've got a new bronze diver that's fantastic. But I think I'll go with the tuxedo because I think they're really special. And they're kind of watches that they're really 2020 because they're watches that anyone can wear. They're kind of genderless and classless, and I love it. That's a serious answer. I didn't think I had any serious answers.
I think for the Longines tuxedo, I think they won. I mean, on the Fifth Wrist radio show, they won the watch of the year. A lot of people voted that watch to be the best watch of the year, which I would totally.
I'm wrong? They're not underrated.
No. I'm just saying. Like, but that watch weirdly reminds me of a swatch because of the really symmetrical circles within the dial, because of the tuxedo dial. It reminds me of a swatch, but
that's doesn't mean the best steak reminds you of McDonald's. But
no, I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm just saying it gives me a familiar vibe. Okay, it brings me back to childhood. So no, it's a really nice watch. For me, the most underrated watch is probably the Seiko Cocktail Time Mojito, like the new iteration of the Cocktail Time. So there's one called the Sakura or something like that. I forgot. No, not Sakura. Whatever. But there's like a green version and a pink version. It's a more playful version of the classic Cocktail Time because of the numerals, and it just looks a little bit more cartoonish, and I love it. And I don't think enough people talk about the new Cocktail Time. I think some people mentioned it, but not enough. Actually, recently I met this local perfumer that's from New York, and he was like, "Oh, I love what you're doing. I love watches too." And he started sending me, watch pictures. And he is a huge Seiko fan, Seiko fan. A huge. Everything he owns is like Seiko, Grand Seikos, Crador, everything. And he actually showed me a lot of good sites to get Seiko. So I might share with you guys later. I think it's called SakuraWatches.com or something like that.
Okay, share it before it goes public.
Yeah.
And before they put a premium on those prices.
There's a slight premium, but they ship it straight from Japan because a lot of watches on their site are JDM watches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so they're like rare finds. So yeah, I'm gonna share with you guys later. But
to increase their prices anymore this year.
Right.
Well, they've only got 7 days. So whatever it is.
Well, who knows? Maybe they're gonna do a sale like 2 days before New Year. Who knows? Businesses work in weird ways. Okay, now that we talked about the most underrated, what's the most overhyped in 2020? I think we all have the same answer. I low-key think we all have the same answer, but who want to go first? Most overhyped. I'll go first. You know what? Most overhyped.
Go on.
I have like two answers because on one hand, it gotta be the new Oyster Perpetual. Gotta be. On the other hand, I think it's a Snoopy Speedmaster. It's a nice watch. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice watch, but I don't think it's that special. It's just a slightly different design with quite a nice case back, but I don't think it's that special where everyone would go crazy. Like, oh, I want it. This is the best thing, 2020. I want it. They want it more than the vaccine, which is fucking weird. But yeah, that's my two answers: the new OP and the Snoopy Speedmaster. What about? Let's go with Mike first.
Now that you talk about it, I'm like, that is really overhyped. It wasn't my original answer.
Okay.
The fancy thing about that is like the case back, which you don't see when you wear it.
Yeah.
So you don't see it when you display it somewhere or put it on a winder. So it's.
I mean, I think it's a really,
not much.
A really nice piece to add to your collection. If you're like a Speedmaster fanatic, then it's like a crucial piece because it's like an anniversary piece, yeah? So you need to have it. But for like, let's say me, just an amateur collector, a casual collector, I don't see the value in it. And they're going to jack the price, way up there. No way they're not going to do it. It's a Speedmaster, right?
Yeah, the answer I had before though, Black Bay 58 Blue. Like, I love it in black, but there's hype around the blue. It's a year backlogged.
Yeah.
It doesn't photograph well. It doesn't wear well. Like, there's just something about that blue that's just not impressive. When you go on,
yeah.
With better colored dials, better colored bezels, it's just flat.
Oh, yeah. When you go on to #BlueWatchMonday, it's just Black Bay Blue 58.
There's a Blue Watch Monday.
You know that was a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, I can now participate because I got my new watch. But I remember every time when people are doing Blue Watch Monday, which Andrew, I really appreciate that you're not part of that crowd because you're Blue Watch Monday. I forgot which watch you post, but that's actually really nice. But when you search #Blue Watch Monday, it's just Black Bays, maybe what's that called? Tudor Pelagos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's those two all the fucking time. There's no other watches. So yeah, I would understand that. That blue is just kind of weird. It's not like dark enough for me to wear it every day. Yeah. It's kind of bright, but not like colorful kind of. I don't know. It's just a weird colorway.
It's just like it's dull. Like it's not even like matte flat. It's just dull flat.
It's just flat. It's just bad. What about Andrew?
I think the most overhyped was actually like the new Rolex Submariner line. The whole 1mm kind of thing blew up, and some people were like, "Yeah, it's 1mm. It doesn't make a difference." Other people are like, "Oh my God, it's a millimeter!" Right? It's you know, and you know what? Yeah. It depends how it wears. I haven't tried it on, so I'm not going to comment on the 1mm. But the fact that people were stemming so much on this evolutionary difference, you know,
I don't get it.
It created a lot of hype over it, and I think it was way more overhyped than maybe Rolex anticipated it was going to be. Because at the end of the day, it is a Submariner. They were Submariners, but I think it got wrong hype for the wrong reason.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people is hyping the Power Reserve, right? Mm-hmm. About the Submariner new Power Reserve, which I totally understand. Yeah. To me, it doesn't really matter a Power Reserve because I swirl my watch around every day anyway. But I know a guy that he's really into Rolex watches, and he was like, yo, that new Power Reserve is, as you said, really evolutionary. But even he himself doesn't understand the 1mm hype. How can you tell the difference? If I put two watch, a 40 and a 41 next to you, no way you can tell the difference. No way. Is that the new one? Yeah, that's the new one. But that's your first Submariner, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter because you're first. You just got into the Submariner game. But people that owns a lot of Submariners
are trying to find one, like wearing them used and anything else.
Yeah.
One, like, the whole thing is it's actually such an improvement over the old chunky maxi case. So you look at the old iterations. Yeah, it's 1mm. It's actually like 0.5 millimeter, but it's all the tapering on the lugs. The old one looked almost, you have the dial, super chunked out case, then you have the bracelet just like dangling off of it, almost like Flavor Flav necklace and then a giant pendant.
Oh.
Okay.
See, I learn new things every day. But yeah,
I know. Same.
Yeah. No, but like as I said,
the Power Reserve, it's like, cool. You finally caught up with industry standard. Everyone was doing 70 hours how many years ago?
What's the Power Reserve now? Like 70 hours?
They're just now doing 70.
Yeah. Rolex is shit brand, right? They just know how to ride the hype. Okay, what about Gareth?
Okay, well, I'm going to start. Before I say what's most overhyped, I just want to say what I think of the Snoopy, actually, because everyone talks the Snoopy. It just reminds me, when you think about a real estate agent that wears Simpson socks because they haven't got a personality. It's the same.
Of course.
It's not a case back on a watch is not a replacement for a personality or a sense of humor.
Oh, that's facts. That's straight facts. I'm gonna cut this part out a snippet.
You can put that in the t-shirt. The Tudor Black Bay Blue. It was in every shop in London before all the shops burned down because of the coronavirus UK version. So I mean, it was everywhere. I'm not sure if it was overhyped. It was. I've gone with. I'm gonna go with the sub, and I'm gonna go overhyped. Doesn't mean it isn't good. It does not, but it's overhyped. It's just like the amount of words that were written and the concern that people had. There was a virus going around killing millions of people, and people were worried about a millimeter on a watch. It's a great. I think it's great, and I think that the improvements that are just brought, they're true. But I think it's definitely overhyped. We definitely had enough pages. I couldn't read another word about it. It's just like.
Yeah. Like when I say the new OPs are overhyped, I don't mean that they're bad as well, because I quite like the
Well, the Snoopy is bad.
The Snoopy is bad. I just think I'm just tired of Omega milking the same watch over and over again. Next year they're gonna have whatever, the Marvel Speedmaster. I don't know. Maybe I'll actually like that. Whatever.
NASA's going up to the moon, and I heard this mission is partially sponsored by Omega at this point. They're just like, go back to the moon.
Right. Yeah. The memes were like, the new landing, the mission is actually partially sponsored by Omega, so they can put out a new watch. But I actually quite like the Tiffany colored OP. Is that Tiffany or mint? It's actually quite nice. I like colorful stuff, but they're overhyped, man. They're over. Oh, damn. Yeah, I heard that there's like a wait list already the first day it's released. How the fuck is that acceptable?
It's like when you see people. This is one thing. I mean, going off piece here, but people queue up outside Apple Store to get a phone. I mean, fucking hell. I get it tomorrow. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, just one more day. Okay, I also feel like a lot of people that line up outside of Apple Store, they're just trying to flip phones. So
yeah.
Same thing with Rolex people.
Right?
Rolex people. I like that.
Oh, I'm gonna go buy an OP for 4 or 5 or whatever, and then sell it for 10.
Who's the idiot? The one that buys it for 4, the one that buys it for 10.
Yeah, like I don't know who would buy that OP at that. Maybe is 10 actually the market price, or is it just an arbitrary number?
Arbitrary number where it's just like
like
double. RP.
Yeah, over. Yeah. I don't understand why they would go for that unless they're a collector and you actually have that money. Sure, whatever. But I personally don't get it.
I think that arbitrary price is probably not totally unrealistic as well. I think people would pay
true
10
though.
for what
That's
you could
true,
just
though.
go into a store and like wait a couple of weeks and get it. You know, it's not
That's
like,
true though. Okay, looks like we three of us has like a collective dislike over the hype over the new Rolex watches. What do you think is the most? What do you think is the most improved brand of 2020? You see, like that. Even like when I first thought of that question, even I had trouble answering it because there are quite a few, but I don't know which one's the most improved. Who want to go first? Anyone has a strong opinion on this question? No?
I'll back off of one of Garrett's answers before. I think Longines had a great year.
Longines had a great year.
Style, the driver, everything they've done showed that they're not just like... They're more than just that heritage diver now. They're taking that heritage idea, but going more to the catalog and able to execute better than other brands doing the same idea.
Yes. They have a bomb year, and they got a lot of people talking about their watches. I mean, okay, here's the weird thing. I recently put out like a poll, you know, most likely like brands that most likely to put out watches that you would buy. The first ever bracket is Longines versus JLC. Almost everyone voted for JLC. Come on. I was rooting for Longines because I love Longines, and I was like 85 or 87% voted for JLC. Really? And I was sad that Longines like out first round. And also, by the way, Rolex won, of course. Rolex won.
Of course.
For me, in my opinion, most improved. At first, I would say Oris, because although kind of under the radar, their stuff are just consistently good. I think not exceptionally good, but you would consider it every time if you want to buy a watch, because Oris, they make really nice watches. But my final answer would be Montblanc. I gotta go with Montblanc because looking at their 2019 releases, they're all, you know, still classy, you know, but it's the kind of watch that you would see in Chopard or, you know, JLC. It's not that special. It's the classic, you know, high class design. But 2020, the 1858 Geosphere, it just blew my mind as that's the best thing I've seen in 2020, one of the best things I've seen in 2020. And it's also really brave of them to steer away from their classic brand aesthetic, the black and white and the serif font, yeah. And they just went completely adventurous and icy blue, which is really nice. Still classy, but adventurous. So yeah, Montblanc, I think, is the most improved brand of 2020, in my opinion. What about Gareth and Andrew?
I'm going to go with Seiko, because I think Seiko had a great year. I think they produced such, you know, their Captain Willard reissue, their 63 Masters reissue, the new bezel-less Alpinist, and Grand Seiko, which I know is not strictly Seiko, but I think there's a brand that I think they've had a really great year. They're like producing a lot of really nice stuff at really great prices. I think you get a lot for your money, which I'm kind of really big on. Yeah, I go Seiko. Yeah, what a great year.
Seiko, nice. Yes, I love Seiko.
Answer. I'm letting myself down.
What about Andrew?
What's really funny, Ryan, is my answer is yours, but in reverse. The Geosphere is awesome. The Montblanc did have a great year, but I'm actually going to go with Oris because of their in-house movement that just came out.
Right. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Holy shit! Right, yeah.
So now that they're going to be putting those in their Aquas collection, it's you know, you're meshing brains with beauty. You know, like Mike was saying, now that the standard for power reserves are much higher, Oris, you know, obviously had to produce, and it's no small feat to produce a whole movement. You know.
Yes.
Especially,
Of course.
right, so that would be my pick.
Oris for you. Okay, so Oris, and then Mike, you said Longjins, and then Seiko. Okay, and then I said Mont Blanc. Wow, okay, that's quite a diverse most improved brand of 2020. Okay, what about... Okay, I want to jump to this question because what's some of the most, what's some of some of unpopular opinions that you have in the watch community, like anything about watches, some of the unpopular opinions that you would normally not talk about to avoid conflict? Oh, I'm just saying, watch lovers are some of the most feisty people I've ever seen. Their opinions are sometimes stronger than these politics believe, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, what's some of the unpopular opinions that you have? Gareth, you want to go first?
I'm going to go with a 3D picture of your watch doesn't make it a better watch. That's my popular most. It's just every Facebook page. Everyone's got a 3D picture of their Black Bay Blue. And it's just like,
oh, right.
It's still a Black Bay Blue, even if it's in 3D. It's no better.
The one where you can like move around?
Yeah, it's just like a nonsense. It's a hate crime. And when I'm president, it's going to be illegal. It could be a capital crime.
I've actually not seen a 3D picture of watches, but I've seen a lot of 3D pictures of whiskey bottles.
The same shit, right? Does the whiskey taste any better? The bottle's in 3D? I'm sure it doesn't.
No, the funny thing is that because it's 3D, you can kind of see what's in his house or her house. That's just weird. Like, you got to consider
that's what you like.
What about Andrew?
For me, I think the unpopular opinion would have to be let patina be patina and let damage be damage. Like there's a line in between, like, lume just like being a little toasty in that perfect color brown, and like water damage on your dial that makes it all bubbly and weird and discolored. It's all in the eye of the beholder, obviously. But when it just becomes too much, I think, and when it really starts to like almost rusting. Ruin that vibe. Yeah, but exactly. Exactly. Like there's some beautiful like spider dials out there that they have like very faint cracks and really close up. You really have to hold the watch like to your face to see them. But like when you're far back, it's like, wow, that's a beautiful dial. Like what's giving it that texture? But then when everything's starting to go,
some
light
watches
brown
just
and nasty.
Beat up, and they're like, no, that's vintage. That's what vintage watches are. You gotta be okay. Yeah, actually, I never thought of that. That's quite an interesting thing. What about Mike?
You start your watch against the wall, like, it's vintage.
It's vintage. Yeah, it's gonna increase in value, I believe, and just start beating your watch up. Okay. What about Mike?
Unpopular opinion: enough with blue dial integrated bracelet. Like all the brands are going for it. What? Like everyone produced one of those this year. It's like, let the Royal Oak have that. Stop trying to copy their look. Stop trying to recreate a Nautilus. Stop playing someone else's game. Play your game.
That's true. I think up to many watch companies are giving up on their creativity and kind of they get swayed by the market a lot. I think the this watch scene in maybe the 60s or 70s, everyone's doing their thing, everyone's trying to rise to the top and really competitive. I think that's the most interesting era there is, when there are a lot of different things that can be seen. I mean, obviously there are almost identical watches here and there, but I think that's the most interesting. I gotta agree with you. You gotta stop playing other people's game and just be innovative. That's why I love the Geosphere so much.
You know what? I think Mike's made me change my mind.
Yeah.
I'm wearing an integrated bracelet watch myself, which is the 1974 Mega course, which is like when they made integrated bracelets. Not everyone's making, even this like disgraceful Bell and Ross monstrosity that's out. It's just like everybody's doing it. It's just like
it's okay.
Yeah,
it's
the one. Yeah,
Bell and Ross. Long Asona did one, which is like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, why are you?
What is it called? Like the Adventurer or something silly name? I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. But
it's you know.
It's the Over Ocean.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird time when ALS decided to join the hype. It's just weird. Like ALS has always been their own thing, and when they join in, it's like, hey guys, let me join. It's just weird. And
look, guys, you made a sports watch.
It's like, yeah. ALS,
guys,
I mean,
1976.
ALS as a brand, I think, I wouldn't say their brand is like their brand's design is safe, but you know, most of their watches have the same aesthetic and just, you know, really different movements that dictates the difference in looks, and I love that about them. But yeah, they should not join the hype. Why? They should not lower themselves to the mortal world.
Leave it to Bell and Ross.
Oh God, don't. Yeah, no one talk. We don't talk about Bell and Ross and Hublot. Okay, let's refrain ourselves.
Don't spoil my.
Don't give him power. Don't give him power.
give me a suggestion. Just mention it.
My unpopular opinion is that I love Seiko, and although Seiko is a mighty brand, I think they have a lot of shitty creation as well. I think they has just too big of a collection to not have bad watches. And most of the time, when I come across, you know, Seiko lovers, they would, you know, I can tell that they love every Seikos. Like, they don't have a bad thing to talk about Seiko. Maybe just really minor things, but they don't have you know, they don't think there's a bad watch in Seiko collection. But I still don't understand Seiko tunas. I don't. Like, it's a 50 millimeter. I don't know. It's too big, man. It's not a watch. That's a Ben 10 device on your hand. Like,
I mean, the name hits it right on the head. It's a tuna can on your wrist. Chicken of the sea.
It's weird.
Can, to be honest, at least it's got some tuna in it.
But I think tuna is probably the only diving watch that I would disagree to see, you know, be worn with casual wears. I think that's like the only tool watch that should belong in the sea, that should only be seen in the sea. How do you float wearing that watch? That shit weighs 5 kilograms.
I'm sure it's like you just put your arm up and float, don't you?
It's just, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't get that. But yeah, I think Seiko, although a mighty brand, has a lot of shitty watches as well. What's the most interesting? Yeah, what's the most interesting thing you've learned about watches so far in the years of liking watches that make you go, oh, what the fuck? That's how it was? Or have you?
I guess I'll go
first. Oh, you go. Yeah, you go.
Okay.
You go.
So when I was picking up the Birchall and Taylor earlier on this year, we did a kind of like a walkabout through their workshop. So because they are in Toronto, so just drove down and took a walk. And it is insane the tolerances they work with, like microns. They were showing us a ruler with a few millimeters on it like this. Then they threw it under a microscope, and that ruler had tiny little lines showing how many microns are in a millimeter. And it's just like, holy crap, these watchmakers are absolutely insane.
They're microns.
And I'm sitting here like working with centimeters, meters and whatnot, in architecture, and I'm sitting here like microns. Like I can't even imagine
that size.
Yeah. Like the smallest thing I guess I have to work with is like maybe a computer. It's like I could put a computer block on a desk and be like, that's the smallest thing I could work with, and that shows the scale of the desk. These guys like, nope, like literally, I can't even show it with my fingers. It's just so tiny.
I don't know how they're not blind. Like,
a lot of technology.
How do you focus on something so tiny for 8 hours straight? I can't imagine. I mean, I'm blind already, so I don't think I can ever do that. About Mike.
Most interesting fact, that in-house movements are a very recent thing. Like,
oh, actually,
I don't know, like everyone swap out movements, and it was really just the brands building cases, and the like design. It's like JLC provided to all the big three, plus themselves, plus all these other people. The Daytona's used to use Zenith movements.
Yes.
And it's this super collaborative space of I'll just make my own case, but I'll buy your movement at bulk pricing, put it in, rinse, repeat. So,
oh, damn. Okay, I didn't know it's such a recent thing.
I think it even goes even further, doesn't it? Because some of them didn't make their own cases or their own bracelets. And,
they just did the marketing.
Well, they just kind of take the pieces and stick them together. I mean, they did the design, and someone made the case and the movement. And JLC, like I said, made a lot of movements for people. They would bring those together. That's what they would do.
Now, old APs, old Pateks, old Vacherons used JLC movements for a long time. The Super case was a mass-produced case that just anyone could buy and then figure out how to put your own movements in.
Damn, okay, damn. I didn't know that. Okay, see, I learned again. I learned a lot, on this podcast. That's what I like about it. What about Gareth?
Okay, I went with a really different direction with this question, clearly, because I kind of went with what I learned about myself and watches that I like watches like casino hookers, old and expensive. And that's the kind of
I'm clipping that again. Damn, okay.
That's kind of what I learned. I think it's just like, you spend a lot of time looking at lots of different watches. I think that's kind of, old vintage stuff is what I like.
What's your vintage grail again?
Oh God, there's so many, wasn't there? I mean, what did I pick? I mean, I like an old, beat up I like beat up stuff. So when we talk about patina, I mean, I'm the guy that kind of likes, listen, if a pair of trainers have got a hole in them, they're kind of just about ready to wear. So it's like, a beat up 1016 or the Blancpain, the non-branded sterile dial military watches. And,
yes, I remember that.
So many. There was a lot. They're all really expensive as well.
That's true. Yeah, I like how you sent me that watch from Hodinkee.
I did. You're gonna get me a Christmas present.
Yeah, the new Blancpain. That's actually really nice. That's really nice. Really simple, but I like it.
It was really nice. I did the maths, as we would say, on that, and it was like they sold out in half an hour. That's like $3.5 million worth of watches in half an hour.
See,
insanity.
Money is just a concept. Money is just a concept. One fact I learned recently, it's really, really basic, but I just learned it recently, is that wristwatches were first made for females. And I just learned about that because, male before used to use, pocket watches. And I was like, damn, okay. And then it's like really sad to know that when wristwatches were first made for female and wristwatches for females nowadays are so it's non-existent. Yeah. No one talks about it. And which I just dislike, because when it comes to fashion, a lot of people would only, let's say you're a dude, you would only look at menswear because that's the only thing you can buy, or
it's the only thing that fits.
Yeah. And but for female wristwatches, I've seen people rocking at 32 millimeters. I've seen dudes were rocking a 34, 32, and there are a lot of, not, maybe not Beauvais, but like maybe some brands out there that makes female watches that has a really unisex vibe to it, but they would not look at it and no one would talk about it. And I just don't understand why. They make gorgeous watches too. Even maybe you don't need to wear them, but just to appreciate them, that they make nice watches too, but no one would talk about it.
But don't you think the whole industry is kind of moving towards unisex, genderless watches anyway? I mean, the smaller Black Bay 58, for instance, 39 mil, anyone can wear that. And the
yeah.
I mean, I think the whole industry is going to, I think in the next few years, we're not going to see any differentiation between male and female watches anyway.
Yeah, I think a lot of watch companies are making unisex watches, but some companies would still like to brand their watches as male and female watches. So to appeal to a certain group of people. That's okay. That's completely okay, unless some SJWs out of nowhere come to bash on me and be like, you should not gender watches. Like what? Like I don't know. But yes, if the watch company wants to make a watch that is super masculine, there's just one watch brand that's for really jacked dudes. I forgot, it's called Swole Clock or something. Yeah, there's one watch brand that's for people, like really muscular people. Their watches are at like 48.
Jack dude is. The Jack dude is a really muscular person.
Yeah, really muscular people. And their watches are ranging from like 48 millimeters and like 52 millimeters. And that's like,
I mean, you're talking about Hublot, aren't you?
I was going to say Invicta.
Invicta.
Maybe.
Hublot, Invicta.
But that's a brand that is, that's for really giant men that wants to wear watches. And then there are, brands like Hermes, what else? Beauvais, as I said just now, and maybe even a Patek Philippe ladies Calatrava. They are catered towards female, and that's okay too. No complaint here, but they make gorgeous watches. I think we should just appreciate all and start talking about it instead of just, because I don't wear it, let's not talk about it. This is weird to me. Yeah.
So I have a story to round off that conversation.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, please share.
So back in second year, we had to do like it was a design class, like an architecture design class, but it was more geared towards like social, like society and social kind of constructs and whatnot. So we had to pick an object and write about it however we wanted. So I picked the wristwatch, and I wrote about the history of the wristwatch, like factual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Started out exactly how you started it, Ryan, is pocket watches for men, wristwatches for women, and then, World War I happened and everybody started wearing wristwatches. So, I go through the years and whatnot, I end up till today, and I was like, wristwatches are primarily a male kind of hobby and a profession at large, right? There's more male watchmakers and female watchmakers. But, the female side of things are picking back up. So the TA, the major SJW, major feminist, and, I'm not a feminist. I'm all about, equality and women and women's rights and whatnot. But she took it the wrong way. She actually failed me on it. I brought up to the prof. I'm like, you need to look at this, man. Like, she failed me.
What?
Pretty much for having the exact same conversation we're having right now.
What's her argument though?
She doesn't like gender roles. That was her argument.
That's so dumb.
I know. About a history of watches, so gender role.
Exactly.
Gender. Things are changing now. It's just fine, but you can't rewrite history.
Exactly.
Oh, God,
that was a while ago. That was maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. But man, unbelievable.
I wonder how she's doing.
I wonder how she's doing too.
Did she send you a Christmas card?
But definitely not.
I don't know. That's why I don't usually talk about male watches, female watches, and I think watch companies are making it really safe now. I'll just make unisex watches, so we'll avoid conflict, which is nice. Okay, whatever. But that's a trend
of like boyfriend watches where it's like they'll wear guys' watches.
Oh, yes, like boyfriend jeans.
Yeah, boyfriend hoodie, boyfriend jeans. They're like, oh, I'll wear a men's watch. purposefully because it's kind of oversized, a little bit bigger.
Yeah. That's like an aesthetic people go for, yeah.
Yeah.
Boyfriend pants.
Getting big
And I mean underpants.
But yeah, just weird. Yeah, people would totally start an argument if I talk about this to them. It's just weird. Okay. Oh, this perfectly segues to this question. Things you've always wanted to complain about watches but doesn't have the right setting to do so. I'll go first. I think a huge chunk of the watch community nowadays, the atmosphere, is really culty. It's really culty, and I get it. The idea of appreciate all watch, which I talk about a lot of time, and a lot of people talk about a lot of the time, it's sometimes taken to the extreme extent where they would actually not have a bad thing. Just like how the Seiko thing I mentioned just now, they would not have a bad thing to say about anything because the appreciate all watch, it's, as I said, took it to the extreme extent. I think it's fine to say, for you to say you don't like anything, don't like something, but just don't disrespect others that like it. And some people would just, no, I love everything, even what's that brand? Invictus. Even Invictus, I love it. And it's just culty. Not, sometimes when people say they like something, they actually like something. But you can also tell sometimes they're just forcing themselves to like something. Yeah, that's my complaint. Some sort of complaint. It's kind of culty sometimes.
Good answer.
I'm gonna play off of that a little bit and say it's become such a, like, there's a weird divide between toxic people who just like watches because they're expensive, and the other half which are genuine watch people. Right, and somehow we're all mixed together. Like, people follow everybody and whatnot, and the comment sections get either heated or you see weird stories from people, and it's just not a good environment. Not great.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I one time I was talking to my friend, it was a year ago back in Hong Kong. And I think that's 2 years ago when I first started liking watches, and people would make fun of me for liking watches because I'm not rich or something like that. They're just assholes. But they would say something hey Ryan, what kind of watch do you like? And at that time I really like IWC because of my dad's Portofino. I was like, oh, I like IWCs. And they're like, oh, what the fuck is that? Right? And then I started explaining, and they were like, oh, why would you like that if no one would recognize it? I was like, okay, shut the fuck up. I don't even want to explain.
It's not worth explaining at that point.
No, there's no people not worth talking to. So listen, I've answered this question in a really similar thing, so we'll go in the same direction. I wrote something down. It's the most people that comment and watch blogs, Facebook posts, Instagram posts range from a massive range from idiot to massive idiot.
That's true.
That's kind of, there is literally so much spite and bile, and it's just a fucking watch. They're great and we love them. But it's and you mentioned, Ryan, about fan people that just they love everything about it. It's just who cares? It's there's so much other stuff to worry about, You just see such toxicity in this world, and it's just if you like it, you like it. If you don't if you don't like a watch, just don't say anything. Just go past the next watch. Just comment on one you do like. Or don't make a personal attack on someone for buying something you don't like.
Yeah, don't attack other people.
There's thousands of pictures. Go and look at something else.
This is really prominent. The attacking someone, really prominent in the whiskey community. At least to my experience. Wow. Yeah. So I just started liking.
Because I'm used to the super high level in whiskey community, where I'm oh, some watches. Oh, this is kids playground in the sandbox version of this.
But yeah, because I just started liking drinking bourbon recently. And I was like, that's really nice. And I started telling people about it, and they're like, and some people online would say, no, Scotch is the best because I don't know. Their arguments are really weak anyway, and they would just say Scotch the best, bourbon, ew, I don't like bourbon. They're the reason why they don't like it is simply because they're bourbon, but not. There's just for some really dumb reason they would even, try to persuade you to stop liking bourbon and join them to like Scotch.
But that goes to that thing, I always think it's just like opinions and facts are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yes,
you can like bourbon. You know what? You can like Jack Daniels if you want. If that's what you like, that's what you like. It's like, it's
don't attack other people
or whatever. But it's like your opinion isn't a fact.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, ultimately, both things are really opinion-based anyway, right? And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Just
and I'm going to say, I do like bourbon as well.
We all love bourbon here.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. I don't know why people hate it so much. They would hate it. They don't just dislike it. They hate it. When you tell them,
I'm not really in the whiskey world. I mean, I do drink whiskey and I drink bourbons. It's Christmas time, so I've got some bourbons in the kitchen. So, but it's like, what? Yeah, who doesn't? Why don't you? Like
I don't
understand. It's associated with Jack Daniels or whatever, which is fine anyway. This is like, it's a cooking bourbon, but it's fine. But it's like, I don't understand it.
Mike, what's your worst when it comes to whiskey? Sorry, what did you say?
The Jack Daniels is like Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's the same every day. It's not great, but it's consistently mediocre.
Yeah, it does the job though. Yeah, it's fine. It's like I mean, you won't buy it if you're seriously gonna have something nice to drink, obviously.
That's a really nice comparison. Dunkin' Donuts coffee versus Timmy's coffee. Hey, but Timmy's coffee are good sometimes, like early morning.
Remember, I'm in Britain. We don't even have coffee in this country. Barely have running water.
No, Bark and Jack drank all of those. They drank all the coffee in the UK.
Coffee. He's drinking gravy. Just don't even listen. There's no coffee in this country. We turn our taps on and sand comes out.
But I just don't get all the hate towards others people opinion. That's just weird. Okay. What's some watches, in your opinion, that has the coolest name? Coolest nickname, or people would
first.
Okay.
Some picked something that was quite funny.
Okay.
Because it's just typical of this brand, I think. I've gone with the Grand Seiko SPG KO 9G, which I think just rolls off the tongue. And it's just like, who wouldn't want that watch? I mean, what are you rocking instead? The SPG K909G. I mean, and I've got it wrong both times. But, I think that's my favorite name of the watch. It's actually if you do look it up, it actually is a really nice watch as well.
They name their watches like quartz with number cases. Yeah. It's just a serial number that no one would actually remember.
Well, it just sounds like a piece of a massive machine that you used to stamp out like lids for milk.
Maybe that's what they're going for.
It's like one of 27,000 parts of this machine made in Dresden. And it's just
one of the coolest name, I think, it's also from Seiko, is King Quartz. They're just owning the fact that they are the king of quartz, and it's called King Quartz. It's just, I love it.
That's a flex, though, isn't it? King Quartz. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
This is only two words. Not a bunch of random numbers. I think
I am sure there are a bunch of numbers following the name King Quartz. There's no way there are no numbers in a Seiko watch. But yeah, that's really, really nice. Another one is Thunderdome from MBNF. Thunderdome.
Is that a Mad Max film?
Right, exactly. Is that from a Mad Max film? What about Mike and Oren? Sorry?
The Thunderdome, 2 watches enter, 1 watch leaves.
Yeah, that's the arena for watches.
This is massive.
We got to stop mentioning Hublot's name. We've given it too much power.
I'm sponsored by Hublot. That's why I keep saying it. I've agreed to say it 12 times.
What about Mike and Andrew? Coolest name.
Mike.
I'd say Alpinist. Like, technically it has a big long reference number, but everyone just calls it that.
Alpinist.
Mm-hmm.
It fits well with the history and kind of the look where I'm like, no, that's a name that just fits on that piece.
Yeah, when you talk about Alpinist, everyone knows which watch it is. So even when I talk about King Quartz, they know the name, but they don't necessarily know what the watch actually looks like. But when you talk about Alpinist, yeah, people know that's the Seiko. It's pretty cool. By Andrew.
I'm gonna go with something that sounds very funny in angry German. Zeitwerk.
Okay.
Zeitwerk.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's just, you know what? It's. I don't even know what it means. It just sounds so cool to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Z at the beginning, but I just German. Like it. It's just German.
Yeah, they make everything sound cool. I don't know. But yeah. Do you think these popular nicknames, or not nicknames, or just names they've created for themselves, help with the sales of the watch? How much do you think that helps? I think the Alpinist helps a lot because everyone knows that before.
Are you meaning like stuff like, Smurf and Hulk and those kind of? They're nicknames that come that are not from the brand. So
yeah, I mean, like, a lot of Seiko watches, even for more popular ones, they don't really have a name. They just have a number. But some watches literally sell because they have that name that a lot of people talk about. And then let's say a Rolex flat 4, right? A vintage piece that a lot of people go for. But at first I was like, what the hell is this flat 4? I don't know. Oh, it's just a Submariner. Oh, it's that number that has a flat 4. Like that helps with people discovering. So
it's got the ultimate. It's got to be the Paul Newman, isn't it? That has to be the pinnacle of this.
Oh yeah. Alpinist is. Now that I think, that's a really good example. Dang, the Alpinist. Yeah, everyone knows that watch. Mm-hmm. That's really nice.
I think names give a spirit to a watch. I think so. Like for the Alpinist, it's scaled. I think it was the Himalayas or something. That's why it got the name. It's like the Japanese Rolex Explorer, like it's the equivalent of it, right? So I think names definitely give a spirit or a sense of adventure depending on name itself, and that's definitely a marketable asset to a piece, I would say. Yeah, even with nicknames as well, right? Like afterwards, when the community starts naming things like the Hulk or the Kermit or whatnot, it's people be like, oh yeah, and then they pay more attention to it afterwards.
That's true. Yeah, that's a really good point for marketing purposes. Which brand do you think? Sorry. What did you say again? Sorry, because you're on, like, we're on speaker in your computer. Yeah, when I talk, it covers what you're saying. What? Sorry, what did you say just now?
I think it can help, but it can also hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there was the Batman. Now they put it on Jubilee bracelets, so it's the Batgirl.
Batgirl. Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants it. Like this of name and bracelet alone, like it's tougher to get a Pepsi now than one of those when it used to be the other way around, and it was like 2 years to get a Batman.
I didn't know that. Actually,
I didn't know that. It's great.
But I would love a Batgirl. I don't care. I would love. Yeah. What's okay? We talked about the most improved brand in 2020. What do you think is the brand that didn't show up at all in 2020? I'll go first. IWC. They constantly put out They have a new watch this year. It's the same Portuguese. It's the same. It's the same thing. I mean, of course, there are new improvements. It's the same thing. It's just not shocking enough for people to actually detect this new watch, right? For Longines Tuxedo, it's shocking. It's simple, but it's shocking. IWC it's just the same watch. It's like Rolex, but no one talks about IWC. That's just so sad. It didn't show up at all.
It's like IWC. One look.
Yeah. That I feel bad for them. I don't know. Is that what they want? Do they want to be that kind of like sleeping giant feel? Are they going for that? I mean, obviously, people still love IWC when it comes to pilot watch. Of course, the first thing or second thing has got to be IWC, and they're not scared that their customers will leave. They have a really special thing to offer. I don't know. I just feel like they're not trying at all.
Maybe they're trying too hard.
I don't know. I would love to see something new. I think the last IWC watch that actually got my attention was the 150 years anniversary jumping hour that they had. Now that is a nice watch, in my opinion. The rest are nice too, but that is shocking. That is nice. That's like, whoa, they put this out. Everyone talks about it for a while. Who the fuck talked about the new Portuguese? Or no one, because it's the same thing.
I think like the Spitfire, but it's quite funny for a brand that's associated with German planes to have Spitfire on it. But I think that they were kind of cool. It's a nice watch, nice size. I think if they just took Spitfire off of it, it'd really become better, because it's like, it kind of makes it a bit cheap.
But if I recall correctly, the IWC Spitfire is just a green Flieger, yeah?
They have a green dial, bronze, and a black dial stainless steel.
Yeah, but I don't see any like Spitfire design on it actually.
But
right?
There's plain, so why would it be look like a Spitfire?
Oh no, I thought there was gonna be like that shark.
Well, Spitfire's a plane, not a shark. But
I thought Spitfire's that design. Oh, my bad. I thought Spitfire.
What are we talking about? Sharks?
No, like you know how planes have that.
It's the nose art that he's talking about.
Yeah, the nose art. Is that the same?
I think that's.
Oh, that's not.
Maybe it's a hurricane. I don't know.
Okay, that's my bad. I'm not well versed on that. I'm not too well versed.
Don't worry.
But yeah. What do you guys think? Which brand didn't show up?
Okay, I'm gonna go. No one else is gonna go. I'm gonna say one brand that didn't show up, we didn't hear a peep out of this year, is Rolex. That's an ironic, because it's all we heard about. And I still think they're good. Okay, I'm not saying they're not good. They are really good. The new stuff is really good, and I would love one. They are really cool. But I think we just heard so much out of them, and I don't think it's because of them. It's just everyone, every single forum, everyone just posts. If you put a picture on a forum, on Amiga, you get like 50 likes. I mean, it's not all about clicks and likes. You put a Rolex, you get 1,000.
Oh yeah.
Just randomly get 1,000.
It's
like they seem to be disproportionately loved. And they're loved for a reason. They're great watches. They are. The Explorer to me is the best watch I've ever made. But Explorer 1. But it's just, they just get so much. Yeah, we've heard so much from them this year.
Rolex a cult.
A cult. It's one way of spelling it.
What about Andrew?
I'm gonna go actually with two brands that I don't think I heard anything out of. It was Piaget and Breguet. I don't think they released anything, did they, this year?
Breguet is a good one. Breguet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think they released anything.
No.
I think they did. There got to be one or two. They wouldn't skip 2020 out of nowhere. I think they did, but it's just.
But it didn't leave a mark if they didn't skip it.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of us who wish 2020 was skippable.
Yeah.
Oh, true. But yeah, I think Breguet is a good one. But what's the other brand you said? Piaget. I think Piaget made a watch that's super thin. Like thinner.
Didn't they do that last year?
Did they do it last year? I think it's this year. I don't know. I think they said it's like thinner than the Octofinissimo or something like that. But I think it's from this year. I'm not sure. I think it's from this year, the Piaget. But still, I think that's the only watch I can name from Piaget.
I don't think it was heard of anywhere. Regardless.
I heard of it.
Yeah.
True. I was just scrolling far deep into Hodink's page to discover that. Normally, I wouldn't even know Piaget made watches. Piaget, what? Is that a basketball team? What?
Well, sounds like a scooter company from Rome. but they do make watches.
An avant-garde electrical scooter company, Piaget.
They do make really nice watches, but you're right. I hadn't heard, Breguet as well. Yeah. If they have, it's not been like it's really gone under the radar.
Mm-hmm. They saved a lot of money on marketing, that's for sure.
The only watch that people still talk about Breguet is the Type 20. That's the only watch that they talk about.
Good, because it's a great watch.
Yep.
And I remember I told you, right, Gareth, I went on to Watch You Seek to say that Breguet, like brands like Breguet during, COVID may be harder for them to stay afloat because not a lot of people want, even for us that want to buy watches, we won't buy a Breguet, right? And, I asked kindly, do you think Breguet should have like a more entry level doesn't mean like $2,000, maybe just an entry level for their brand. And holy shit, the amount of hate I got from that one post. And someone reported me, I got banned the next day, which is still a really funny story to me.
Of course you got banned. You had an opinion.
That's my bad. That's my bad. I should have just been a sheep.
Don't have an opinion. Just post a picture of a Rolex.
What about Mike?
Doesn't have to be yours.
Yeah, it should definitely not be yours. That's the funniest thing.
What about Mike?
Brand that didn't show up, Panerai.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing as that IWC. It's just one look, no innovation. They put out a couple limited editions this year that everyone tried to hype up, but it's just like, so a limited edition has a different colored seconds hand. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend double MSRP for no technical advancement, no anything else than it's a red seconds hand.
Sounds like a Speedmaster to me.
It's a good call though. It's a good call.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think even because obviously their main thing is diving watches, but I think even for
with 30 meters of water resistance,
I don't think even for I don't know, they're not even that good at making diving watches.
No, they don't. They have to me, Panerai are a bit like goat's cheese. You're supposed to like them, but it's horrible.
Oh yeah.
And I think they make one that's 30-meter water resistance. There's some of the older ones, and the original vintage one. Yeah, the Rolex made just fantastic, beautiful watches. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I think when
Panerai DUE, where it's a dial watch.
Yeah, I think Panerai Do is like the dressier kind of Panerai. Yeah.
It's just aluminum with no water resistance.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. That's what I meant. The 30-meter water resistant diver watch. It's
yeah, I don't know Panerai. This brand's mysterious, man. They try. That's the brand that tries hard, but they couldn't just grab people's attention.
Expensive.
Oh, that's true.
I think if you're going to spend that money, you're going to buy a sub, aren't you? Surely.
Right? Before, I was actually struggling between IWC or Girard-Perregaux. But I think then I look at GP's releases in 2020. They look good, but just no one talked about it.
Releases.
Yeah. I think that is categorized as the underrated one instead of didn't show up. But man, IWC just stayed silent. Panerai stayed silent. Piaget, not quite sure, but also stayed silent. And then, sorry, Gareth, what did you say again? Rolex, right?
Yeah, I was taking a piss. It's an answer from me. I think Rolex did something about something to do with millimeters or something.
Actually, I'm not sure.
I didn't hear it. There was something about millimeter.
Actually, I'm not sure. COVID. I was too focused on COVID news. I don't have time.
It's just Rolex. It's only Rolex news. There was no COVID news.
Any questions you guys want to ask the group?
Did we miss a question? Or am I just imagining? Is it an answer to a question you haven't answered?
I don't know. I might be blind. Actually, I'm like.
You're grateful for brands brought back to watches.
Oh right, things you're grateful that brands brought back to watch.
I'm paying attention.
I like that they introduces more colors into watches. I mean, brought back the colorful stuff, but maybe some are just really poorly executed. But I love the fact that they are thinking that, oh, maybe we should bring color back because, oh shit, we just discovered new colors. What? There's more colors than silver, gray, white, and black. You're like, oh,
blue.
And blue. Whoa, let's let's make something out of this.
Let's make a dull blue watch.
I would, yeah. So I love that. What about you guys? What's something that you are like, oh, finally they're doing this? Let's do it. Let's start with Andrew.
Go on, Andrew.
Let's start with Andrew.
I was gonna say, I like how in recent years, not specifically to 2020, that brands are going back to their heritage. Although I do also think a lot of brands are trying too hard with it.
Yeah.
True. Oh, Mike, do you agree? That's the thing.
That's what I said. I said brands continuing with heritage and sort of backdated models. I don't like the other end of the spectrum where it looks like it's a piece of Iron Man suit. Super hard angles, super futuristic. Like, no, keep clean lines, keep round cases, a cushion case from it.
Are you describing Tag Heuer's?
You mean the Mark III War Machine armor?
Yeah, the new Carreras are like, I can see why people love them. But damn, that's just too much for my eyes. I can't even tell the time. There's too much gears going on.
You need an evolution, not a carbon copy.
Facts, that's facts.
Evolution,
that's
not
facts.
revolution.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone with I've got another serious answer. I've gone with value for money, which is an everyman watch, like Longines, Oris, Seiko, just bringing out some really nice like quality watches that like most people can afford. And they're still not cheap for the standard like salary, but they're still like, you know, for £2,000 now, everyone can have a really nice watch. And I think that's what I like that's come this year.
That's true. I think the thing that needs to come back though is to stop, treating watches as something that you want to flex. It's just a thing you want to wear. You don't wear, you're wearing a white t-shirt. You don't wear that to impress someone. And if someone come up to you, it's like, oh, why are you wearing a white t-shirt when no one's going to compliment you? It's like, two things doesn't correlate. Okay. I just love it. It's and
flexing your watches is kind of like, as we would say in Britain, it's a kind of wanky thing to do anyway.
It's kind of wanky things to do.
Wear a nice watch, great, do it. The coolest people you see with like their sleeve rolls up and just catch something, maybe an old 1016, but they'd never show it, just like a little glimpse. Is that what I think it is? That's cool.
Yeah. But a lot of people would just go like, it's the Platinum Daytona, you got this? Yeah, I just got this.
We don't know those people.
Oh, but what about the double flex?
Oh.
When it's like the hand at the 12 o'clock on a fancy car.
Oh, shit. Hey. No, the triple flex. Fancy car, the watch, and a nice bottle of whiskey or a cigar or something like that, whatever. Or, some crazy expensive cufflinks.
A quadruple flex. They're on a yacht.
In a nice house. In a
their basement on a yacht.
It's flexception.
It's a flex on a flex on a flex.
I actually kind of talked about this in like 2 episodes ago with this. Her name is Tori. I think we talked about whiskey, and I was like, I'm kind of tired of people correlating whiskey drinking with being rich. Because okay, when you search hashtag whiskey once again,
that's a very sorry, I'm gonna say that's a very not British kind of view of whiskey. I think you need to go to Scotland to correlate whiskey drinking with park benches. I mean, it's like such a different. It's just like it's definitely.
Yeah, a lot of.
I don't think we think about it in that way in this country. I mean, there's like connoisseurs of whiskey. I mean, that's like a big thing. It's a big thing everywhere in the world because it's a great product and they're great. But we don't see it quite. It's not a luxury kind of thing here.
But you don't see a lot of people holding a bottle of wine and, on a yacht taking photos. It's always got to be.
I mean, in Europe, it's going to be
champagne or whiskey or cognac. So some people would immediately associate that with, oh, when I drink whiskey, I gotta smoke cigar and I have to wear a white shirt on a yacht. That's just gotta be wearing a white shirt.
I'm not a whiskey expert in any way. I do love whiskey, but surely smoking a cigar and whiskey are kind of counterintuitive to each other. Don't they take away the flavor of the? I mean, there's a better person there that can answer this question than I can. But it seems to me
the whiskey expert here. I mean, oh my God, the whiskey expert here.
There is no reason to drink a fancy scotch when smoking a cigar. You're just wasting money. Buy something cheap that tastes okay, like more than $50 a bottle. You're just
ruining it.
Throwing your palate cigar.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm right then, basically.
Who cares if a 10-year or a 30-year? It's gonna taste the same after tobacco.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
True. Do you like cigars? Does any of you like cigars?
They're okay, now and then,
yeah. I've seen Andrew like posting on his story.
Every so often.
I mean, you gotta say that every bottle of wine tastes the same after the third bottle.
Yep.
That's a fact.
That's true.
But yeah, if you're gonna taste something, you're not gonna smoke because that's just like stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, or like you wouldn't drink when you want to taste a tobacco or taste a cigar, right? You don't want to ruin both things. I remember the first time I smoked cigars, I puked. It's too much, the nicotine. It's too much.
I think
it's really funny because it's 2 years ago which I was just
8 years old. So it's 2 years. I remember my grandfather giving me a puff of cigar. I was like 8. Not that it made me puke, but I didn't like it because I was 8. But
you were 8. Oh no, but I was like 18, and out of nowhere, my friend and I was like, hey, I know there's a cigar lounge like up there. Like, do you want to go? And he was like, yo, hell yeah, why not? Let's try it. And then we went to, it's like a Tuesday. It's Tuesday night, like 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Barely anyone is there. We showed up. These like people working there, they're like, who the fuck are these kids walking into our store, like trying to fuck around or something like that? I walked in there, I asked like, hey, we want to try a cigar. So he walked us through. We picked 2. I was like, man, I want to experience this. I've been wanting to experience this for a long time. I picked a really short one. I tried to finish it because I don't want to waste money or something like that. Dang, afterwards, I was so dizzy. And yeah, I puked. But it was actually nice though. Like you can actually taste different things in it. Like
the puke.
Like whiskey. But yeah, and then the puke, the aftertaste of puke. Yeah.
I mean, I think whiskey's a better thing than a cigar. I do kind of like whiskey stuff.
Oh, definitely. Whiskey is
so
way better.
While I'm here, then I'm gonna make Mike give us a bourbon recommendation for Christmas. What should I be going to the store to buy?
Yes, sir.
I've got you, Mike. You're here.
Just the Knob Creek single barrel.
Knob Creek.
Okay.
Is Knob Creek a Canadian distillery or no?
They're a subsidiary brand of Jim Beam.
Yeah, and we can get it. We had it here, so good call. Okay.
That's why I was looking at the shelf. I'm like, that's craft only in New York. That's a small brand. That's probably going to be tougher. I'm like, no, Knob Creek is pretty solid, pretty available. But like, go for the single barrel or like the barrel proof.
Right.
20 proof, but it drinks way lower. And It'll get you there. You can put in eggnog, cocktails, anything.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's my Christmas Eve. Like the fire.
I got a question. Okay, between that Knob Creek and an Elijah Craig small batch, which one's better?
Knob Creek.
Knob Creek. Okay. I'll try it then. I'm looking to buy new bottles anyway, so let's go.
We have to ask Andrew about basements. What's the best basement configuration, Andrew?
Open floor plan with a couple pillars in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah. Pillars are always
the house somehow.
Pillars are always a good design in the middle of a room.
Right. Oh, what's that one? Okay, what's that like? I don't know. I mean, I think maybe it's like more of an interior design question, but like, what's that one thing that you can do to make your room looks more spacious?
Bright colors and a lot of natural light. That'll definitely do it. Natural light and like whites, like light grays. Not a lot of contrast. That really like brings it down, but it's got to be like kind of light and airy.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Gareth, what's like one tip for us to take better pictures? You're the photographer here.
Yeah, one tip: look before you take a picture. Just think about when you're taking a picture. Just think before you leave your camera. Just stop, think, and then take the picture. Even if it's for a split second, just look around or observe.
Okay, take it in.
That's profound. I know.
Actually, what's like a nice entry level camera to have to take decent pictures?
Well, that's a good question. I'm a big Fuji film fan, so I would go I'm gonna say I don't remember the name of it, but maybe is it the X100? It has an inbuilt lens. It's simple. You can point and shoot. You can set it to raw and manual. In either way, I think Fuji. I mean, everyone's gone to Sony now and Canon and Nikon are dead, but there's just like I'd take Fuji. I mean, I'm an X Pro 2. I just want to go to X Pro 3, but Fuji, yeah. Oh, don't buy a Leica.
Oh no, I'm not a hipster.
Does anyone here have a Leica? Have I just crossed the line? It's just like
Canon guy.
I've been a photographer for like 20 odd years, and I don't know anyone that uses it. I've never seen a photographer use a Leica.
Yeah, because I'm actually looking to maybe invest in a camera so I can actually take better pictures and maybe instead of the webcam.
Fuji or Sony, I think. Maybe even Canon. One of those three.
Okay, I'll see.
This is the big three, really. Canon, Sony. I've been seeing a lot of Fujis, actually.
I think they're great. Like X Pro 2 I use. So.
My phone just doesn't cut it anymore. Dang, I want to take close-up pictures of watches. It's just blurry.
How close are you talking?
Like
you get quite close with your phone.
Like horror Mario Bro kind of macro shots.
Okay.
That's like close.
That's even trickier with a camera. I mean, you got to spend thousands on a lens then. So.
Oh really? Oh dang! You know what? Maybe I'm hoping too much. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring up my game to you guys' level. Because like Andrew and Gareth, you use your camera to take pictures. Yeah, I think Mike, you and I use our phones, right?
You can take a great picture.
No, yeah, I'm trying so hard. It's the lighting. I've been trying so hard to tweak my lighting.
Ryan,
yeah, I got a ring light.
Okay.
Yes, and I've been trying to play with the intensity. And
also, a good app for your phone to use is the Lightroom app because it allows you to manually control your exposure, your ISO, a whole bunch of other stuff. That's what I was using before I got my camera.
Is it free?
Free? It's free to download, but to get all of those like the manual controls, I think you need a Creative Cloud account, which is a lot less expensive than a camera.
It is. I always use daylight for my watch pictures. So daylight, like diffusion screens, white card, black card. If you want a darker, you want a bit of modeling or a dark,
Yep.
Whatever works.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it work, man. I'm trying to make it work.
You'll get there.
Any other questions you guys want to ask before the end of 2020? before we all go out and about to enjoy our Christmas days?
Well, enjoy is a big word.
Okay, I'm here in Vancouver alone. All my friends are back home, so.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Nope. Any remarks?
But I got the hit on one. So
Sorry?
Well, I got skipped on one of the questions.
Oh.
Like this is one that could stir up some stuff, some thoughts.
Oh no, did I skip you? I'm so sorry. Please go ahead.
Oh no, it's all good. I was just like, this is one that's going to be good conversation or get a good laugh. So it's what's a safe space? What's something you want to say, but you're not really sure if or when you can? Watch YouTubers. We see you. You know you run stores. Stop making your top 10s like everything that you carry. Like,
are we talking about one particular person?
Oh, just so many of them where it's like by the end, they're like, check out our website. Oh wait, you carry everything in your top 10 video. I didn't watch a video, I watched a 20-minute commercial.
Yep.
That's how people do it. That's how people do. Okay, actually, you know what? I'll give you, Gentleman Pursuits, this platform to name drop people if you want to.
Oh, we badmouth people. I can think of one person that does it really badly, but I'm not going to say it. But it's just like, you know what? Mike's right. It's like, there's nothing wrong with doing that if you're transparent in the very beginning. These are the top 10 watches that we stock. That's great. Fine, do it.
The only 10, actually.
Don't pretend these are the best watches. And then at the end, like Mike says, you go on your website. Oh, okay, they're the 10 watches they sell. That's a strange coincidence.
That's so true. That's so true. I don't watch a lot of watch YouTubers. I don't watch their videos. I just think sometimes they're a bit too pretentious about watches. I think the only
I think Mike's raised it's a bigger point though, isn't it? It's just like we've gone he said it was going to be a laugh, but no one's laughing. We've gone like when you look at any like watch, any watch like site or magazine site, and it's like if you're reviewing a watch that you sell, how can you be truly impartial? Because you're not going to trash something and say, well, this is terrible. This is like, this is the worst product by such and such. But you stock it. You're never going to say that. So it's like, I know they try and keep on, we think of one website in particular, and we're not naming names, it's the biggest of the biggest that has its own shop, and then it kind of reviews the watches, and they kind of always saying that they're different departments. It's like they're probably on like the same floor on another desk in the same room. It's like, it's becoming a bit of a problem, I think.
Yes. Yes.
But it's like, I guess it's the thing of like, just disclose at the beginning.
Yeah.
There's some great people who are like, oh, it's us from this store. Hey, we got this in stock. And then they talk about something else and that's it. Like, at least I kind of am ready to get into that. I'm ready for a crossover, ready for a sales pitch a little bit, but I'm not at the end of a 20-minute, 15-minute video being like, damn it, you got me.
Yeah, you feel cheated, don't you? You get to the end of that, like you spend 10 minutes watching this video about how great a watch you've never heard of is.
That's so true. That's so true. Actually,
do you have a counterpoint to all that, though? Oh, sorry, Ryan, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, completely unrelated. But yeah, you were saying?
I mean, I'm very picky as to who I watch on YouTube when it comes to watch reviews. And like, there's independents that obviously don't own stores. I'm good friends with a couple of them on Instagram, and they're just guys in their basement. And they're like, hey, this brand just sent this and I'm going to review it. And then they give the pros, they give their opinions on what they don't necessarily like. And they're like, and head over to their website. And I know exactly what you're talking about, Mike, where you have stores reviewing watches and it's like, oh, here it is in the case, right? I don't know. It's just it's the whole honesty bit that I understand I get what you're saying. And I find that the independent reviewers, like the guys who are just doing it out of their homes or whatever, they're way more upfront. They're like, this video is sponsored, this video is not sponsored. You know, they told me to keep this watch, I'm sending it back, I'm doing a giveaway, like whatever. They're transparent right from the beginning, right? And they're not trying to sell the watch, they're just giving, I guess, opinions, and they let you form, you know, throughout the video what you think about it as well. They show it to you, and you know, it's a great way. It's a great marketing tactic, especially for smaller brands.
Oh, yeah.
But for the big guys, it's like, stop giving me the commercial.
That's
I guess
true.
when you get people claiming to be independent, but they're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
That's when there's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When you lose that, what's that called, the media independence? Like, you don't get to say what to, you know, you don't get the decision to, you know, what to say and what not to say. That's the scary part. And we shall see in the future if we're not name dropping out, if they're gonna stay.
We all know.
We all know, yeah, but if they're gonna stay independent or not. I was just gonna mention something which is completely unrelated to what we're talking about here. Is the new John Mayer G-Shock.
That's it. Andrew said it. The answer's there.
Yep.
That's it.
I was expecting something great.
That was great from Andrew. It was a perfect answer.
And that's how I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm officially done with watches for 2020. I'm gonna take a break here. It's just L's after L's. Travel clock, and then this.
You're gonna start naming. Just watch yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful. You say them 3 times, they show up like Candyman in the mirror.
Yeah.
Don't say Bloody Mary too.
Hey, sometimes you gotta stir up controversy to, you know, to go big.
For the clicks.
Yeah. Whoa, Ryan said this, and then my face like, and the thumbnail is like.
You're done in this town, Ryan. You'll never work again.
Oh man, I hope not. I'm sorry. I apologize. And I can make an apology video to generate millions of views. That's how people do it. Say some shit and apologize, and then people will magically forgive them.
Just don't say the shit.
But yeah.
How is the limited edition? I'm done with limited editions. I'm done with 2020. Watches are getting too hypey.
That's it. That's the answer.
Watches are getting too hypey. I mean, yeah, they're unreasonably hypey. It's just weird. It's just weird. Yeah.
Don't you think we got like something to worry about this year?
What do you mean? What?
Like
I don't see.
Something on the news about some cold that's going around. You know, I think we've got something else to think about.
No, that's a hoax. That's a hoax. I don't believe in that.
Oh, don't get me on that. That's another stuff.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, I apologize. But yeah, damn. Holy shit, we've been talking for like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. This is a long episode. Yeah, this is a long episode. Awesome. Thank you once again for everyone, for Andrew, Gareth, Mike, to come on to the podcast with little Ryan here on Gentleman Pursuits. I'm actually, like, just one thing, I'm really grateful that I get the chance to like host a Christmas special. Like a year ago, I would not have thought this would happen. Someone would actually want to come onto my podcast and talk to me. But I'm really grateful, and I'm happy to know all 3 of you. You guys are great people. And I hope whoever's still listening, which would be a miracle if you actually listened all an hour and 40 minutes of a podcast, that thank you for your support. Of course, thank you for staying with me. And I hope in the year 2021, I can, create more innovative content and, improve my all-around content making ability and bring you something different, more different, a different perspective, a different way to look at watches and whiskeys. Thank you once again. I love you guys. Thank you for coming on to the Christmas special. You guys have a nice Christmas. As I said, try to have a nice Christmas, even though lockdown is still in action. And yes, and I will see you guys in 2021. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.